fresh.
It makes me further away. Like I feel like the camera's up in my face and I can't get the computer back far enough, but I feel like I'm further away.
I feel like I'm all pretty.
You are.
I am pretty. Okay, gosh, everybody's here. Looks like Haley and Mary Beth and Hodson and Philip and Casa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. Jennifer, it looks like you have a soft lens.
I know.
Could we give one to Philip, please?
Touche.
You walked right into it. Sorry.
What did you say, Hodson?
Could we give a soft lens to Philip, please? It might help.
No, I don't mean you, Philip. I just meant we found a cool filter, so it helps.
Good morning. This is the Bastrop County Court at Law. February 9th, 2021. The court calls cause number 21-20565 in the interest of Jones children. Mr. Nisenblatt, would you like to make your announcement on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. Oscar Nisenblatt, attorney for the department.
Ms. Scott?
Mary Beth Scott, attorney for the children.
Mr. Eckel?
Hodson Eckel, attorney for respondent father Arturo Brazil.
Mr. Wilson?
Philip Wilson for Alma Jones, respondent mother.
Mr. Dillon?
Chris Dillon, attorney for alleged father Antoine Ross.
Mr. Nisenblatt, would you like to begin?
Judge, before we begin, I have a question. Can somebody tell me who is the father of what children? That's not in the affidavit.
Okay. Maybe Mr. Nisenblatt would do that in his statement.
No, that'll be presented during the testimony.
Okay. You may proceed.
Okay. The department is seeking the temporary management conservatorship of the children subject to this case because of drug use by the primary caregiver, mother Alma Jones. There is a question on paternity regarding Mr. Antoine Ross. I've talked to Mr. Dillon about that, and we'll be requesting a paternity test for Antoine Ross. I do, before I begin questioning the investigator, would like to let the court know that per the records, there's not been service on Mr. Ross or Ms. Jones.
Okay. Mr. Wilson, are you making a general appearance on behalf of Ms. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. Is she not in the Zoom hearing? I don't see her. I talked to her. She was going to be here.
Is Ms. Alma Jones here in this hearing on Zoom? Okay, doesn't appear to be.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm making a general appearance on behalf of my client.
And Mr. Dillon,
Your Honor, I have spoken to Antoine Ross even as recently as this morning and let him know about the day's hearing. He was not able to attend, but he does, based on his knowledge, has been told that the children, he's not the father of the children, so he's requesting a paternity test.
Okay, I think that we're in agreement that that would be ordered. But are you appearing generally for him?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Oh, Your Honor, if I may interrupt, to shorten these proceedings, because I haven't communicated this with Mr. Nissenblatt, we are not contesting the department's requests. Just to let you know that we're agreeing to TMC to the department.
Okay. Mr. Eckel?
To my knowledge, my client's, there's no address or known contact information for my client. If we're going to have a hearing, I was going to see if I could sort of flush that out, but I really don't have a means to contact my client.
Okay. Mr. Dillon?
We have no objection either to TMC to the department, Your Honor.
Ms. Scott?
No, Your Honor, I do not. Although the kids want to go home, they realize that they're going to be with their grandparents for a while, and we are not contesting TMC to the department as long as the placement is approved where they currently are. And I think that was the department's intention, to leave them there.
Mr. Nissenblatt?
I believe so, Your Honor. I can call Ms. McBride, the investigator, and answer some of these questions for the court.
Okay, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear the testimony you give in this call shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may proceed.
Hello. Ms. McBride, are you the investigator in this case?
I am the family-based worker in this case.
Okay. And you're the one who did the signed the affidavit, correct?
I am, yes.
And will you please identify the children subject to this case? And when you do so, state the name of the father for that child. You're on mute, Ms. McBride.
Can you guys hear me? Sorry. So there's Tracy, Mylan, Chaz. Their dad was documented as Arthur. And then there's the two oldest twins, Antonio and Alyssa, and their dad was documented as Antoine.
And is the department willing to provide a paternity test for Antoine Ross and these children?
Yes, we are.
And is the department seeking the temporary management conservatorship of these children?
Yes.
And did you hear that the mother, Alma Jones, and Mr. Ross, the alleged father, Mr. Ross, are in agreement with temporary management conservatorship of these children?
Yes.
And regarding the three children, Tracy, Mylan, and Chaz, what safety issues does the department have with Arthur Brazil?
What safety issues
Yes.
do we have with Ms. Jones?
Mr. Brazil.
I have not been able to contact Mr. Brazil. We did our diligence searches and I've mailed out letters to the last known addresses. Other workers have also tried to contact him on numbers from the diligence search and no one has been able to catch up with him, to speak to him.
And do you know if he's been a part of these children's lives?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And did you have a chance to talk to Ms. Jones about Mr. Brazil's role in the children's lives?
I did not talk to her. The previous worker before I was reassigned the case spoke to her, I think.
Okay. And what was the information that you gathered from the department's records on that issue?
That he was not a part of the children's lives.
And have you had an opportunity to talk to the children about Mr. Brazil?
I have not, no.
And do you believe that granting the department temporary management conservatorship of these children would be in their best interest?
I do, yes.
And do you believe that return or turning over these children to Mr. Brazil would be in their best interest?
I don't at this time until we would be able to speak to him and assess him.
And what's the current placement plan for these children should the court grant the temporary management conservatorship?
So the current safety plan that we have is with their uncle, Brandon Morrison. He was staying over at the apartment that they had, and then they were evicted on the 6th. So they have been at the maternal grandparents' home. There's nowhere else for them to go at this time. So I went out, I did a preliminary home study on Mr. and Mrs. Morrison, and I turned that into my supervisor. And I know that her and my program director were discussing the case. So I'm not really sure. I think Sarah's on, you can ask her about if they approve the preliminary home study or not.
Okay, so you're unaware if it's approved?
I am not. It may not be based on just some history that's in impact.
And do you believe if we were to leave or place the children there with Brandon Morrison and the grandparents, who I think are the Morrison grandparents, correct? Like Barbara Morrison, do you think that would be in their best interest?
Yes, they've always been stable there anytime she's had them.
Okay. So you believe that's a stable placement?
I do, yes.
Okay. Pass this witness.
Your Honor, you may be muted.
All right. Yes, Mr. Eckel, sorry.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor. First of all, I apologize, everybody. Arthur Brazil, not Arturo, excuse me. Ms. McBride, a couple quick questions. You may have answered some of them already. You can't find Mr. Brazil. Is his last known address in Texas?
Yes.
Okay. What city or what county?
I would have to go back and find those diligence search.
I apologize. Is he in Bastrop County? That's what I meant to ask. I'm sorry. A better way to ask it.
I don't think he was. I don't think that's where I mailed the letter. I think I mailed a letter to Bayer County.
Okay. And another question: you're asserting that Tracy, Mylan, and Chaz are his kids. Is that based on talking to the mom, or birth certificates, or what are we basing that on?
Yes, based on mom's reporting.
Okay. Thank you. Pass the witness.
Mr. Wilson,
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Dillon.
Ms. McBride, you said that it was documented that Antoine Ross was the father of the twins. How was that documented? Is that through the same thing, the birth certificate or report of the mother?
The report of the mother in the investigation, in one of the investigations, but then the investigator spoke to Antoine and he said that Ms. Jones told him that he was not the father.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Scott.
Ms. McBride, is there any record of child support ever being ordered for either one of these two men?
I am not aware of any child support orders.
Has the department located a birth certificate for any of the 5 children?
I have not known, but I will need to ask for the conservatorship stage.
Okay. And I want to, it is your position that they have been safe and secure in the home of Barbara Morrison before, is that correct?
Yes.
And Mr. and Ms. Morrison, they are willing to take the children. Is that also correct?
They are, yes.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Nisenblatt, do you have any further questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Any additional witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Eckel, do you have any witnesses to present?
I do not, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, do you have any?
Oh, Your Honor, I would just like to say on behalf of my client, after speaking with her yesterday, she's acknowledging that she has some issues and is looking forward to go into inpatient treatment and dealing with her addiction issue. And I know it's been a long trip for her so far, and people are doubting that. But like I said, she called me, told me she was trying to get in treatment, and I think she's finally hit the turnaround that we all need to see.
Mr. Dillon?
No questions, Your Honor. No witnesses.
Ms. Scott, do you have any witnesses to present?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Um,
I would like to,
Hold on. We have the placement here.
yes.
Would either of you like to present anything to the court? There you go.
Just hearing that my daughter has come to the acknowledgement that she do need help and she's willing to go to in-placement to get some help for herself. And she need treatment. And I'd like to see that happen.
Okay. Hassan?
Also
Excuse
have a couple of attempts to meet the children and has been unsuccessful. So we have nothing at this time and believes that based on the information she's heard today, that the placement should remain the same.
All right, anything further from anyone?
Your Honor, I've been out to the house, Morrison House. I've met with all 5 children. Ms. Morrison has already made arrangements for the children to stay in the schools where they want to be. The older 3 go to Bastrop schools and they're transported there. The younger 2 are in the Cedar Creek Elementary, I believe. At any rate, they're in the schools where they want to be. The kids, older kids would like to go home, but they know this is where they need to stay for a while. I think we're going to have to help the placement. These 3 older kids are good size eaters and good kids. I mean, they are hungry all the time. The little ones are too, and they've just taken on 5 new bodies, but they all seem to be well adjusted. There's a place for them in the house with a little bit of help. And the kids are fine and they're happy where they are.
All right, the department is named as temporary managing conservator. The placement is approved. Is there anything further? Okay, this will conclude the hearing. Thank you.